Hello. Hello, hello. All right. Well, let's do this. We do have the FDC screen. It looks like there is a Kix FDC, so we can kind of get an idea what we're working with. Kix has an FDC. Light Side Allies getting buffed a regen. Bad. Not bad, but broadly low impact. Dark Side. Whenever Dark Side Allies grants a buff to another ally, that ally gains 5% TM. Limit once per turn, but not awful. Level 9 Pirate. Pirate attacker allies gain 2% offensive potency per buff on them at the start of their turn until the start of their next turn. So it works out of turn. Pirate healer support and tank allies gain 5% defense and tenacity per buff on them. So as long as you take a turn and cash that in, I don't think you lose it if you get dispelled. Captain Ithano. Whenever pirate ally uses the ability on their turn, Ithano assists. Well, that plays in with the level 9. Conceals defense pen up, offense pen up, or offense up, and speed up from all enemies. If any buffs were stolen, grant them all to all pirate allies and reset their duration. Okay. I mean, speed up and offense up are pretty high impact to be able to steal. Kix. Whenever another pirate ally recovers health or protection, Kix also recovers that amount. Interesting. Whenever a pirate ally gains or loses attack or profit, they reduce their cooldowns of their abilities by 1. That is a pretty big difference. That is huge for Maz. But is Maz even going to exist by the time that this FTC is gone? Well, man, like, okay, imagine the release schedule if we had Maz Kanata now and then SM33 later. Like, what the... I don't know, man. It just feels like things are out of sync. Like, we could have had Maz Kanata as a playable character, then SM33 would have rolled in around Hondo. When you go for the FTC screen, look at the Kix event, look at the rewards, click that FTC, and then click the eye for information. Wampa, his FTC only goes to level 9. Whenever Wampa uses an ability, they deal more damage equal to half their tenacity percentage, max 100% more damage. I mean, decent effects. Whatever an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, Wampa gains 5% offense until they are defeated. I mean, that will also be good. Wampa, if there are no other active allies at the start of battle, Wampa's Omicron ability is active in TW. He has 100% defense, max health, and max protection. He is immune to daze and stun, and whenever he attacks out of turn, he ignores protection. The TW rework has finally dropped. That's... There were some people who were saying that, the set 23 couldn't be worse than set 21. And I thought that was a dangerous statement to make. And I gotta say, so far... it's sounding pretty ambitious of a statement to make. Well, we'll see. I mean, TW things tend to be, like, pretty competitive. But, like, around the B and C tier range. Like, I don't know, especially with that extra stat boost. The current B and C tier TW teams, Wampa, I think, could definitely beat. Although there might be some complications on that. I don't know, I have to think about it, but in the interest of pacing. Sorticron also only goes to level 9. And I put those stats on a real team, though. Yeah, it's what, 100% offense, 100% crit damage. Seems to be a running theme. Less levels, less effects, more stats. 75% CA, 125% defense is maybe less impressive than 100% offense CD, but not shabby. Whenever droid ally dispels a buff or debuff, all droid allies gain crit damage up and offense up, which can't be dispelled. Whenever droid ally gains stealth, other weakest non-stealth droid ally gains 100% defense and max protection for 2 turns. Whenever a droid ally gains stealth, 100% defense and protection for 2 turns. Have we ever seen temporary stat boost before? That's a potent line, to be honest. Like, VIP is repeatable. So if you could figure out a way to gain repeatable VIP, that's like... Although, crucially, it goes to weakest non-stealth, so like... I'll have to game that out. I don't know. That's very interesting. As an effect goes. Level 6 T3, whenever T3 crits, gains damage me for 1 turn, which can be dispelled but can't be copied. 25% TM and blinds enemy for 1 turn. Can't be evaded or resisted. If the enemy was target locked, T3 also gains protection up, retribution, and speed up. I mean, it sounds like it's not just the target because it doesn't have the usual like ability block or blind level 6 clause. This should just be like an AoE blind. AoE blind, immediate turn. You won't get the blind back immediately, but like... I don't know. The AoE blinds seemingly being uncapped sounds pretty real. FTC only to level 9 now. No, I think it's just... CG's just trying stuff per FTC. Sortie. While Sortie is active at the start of Sortie's turn, apply spare parts to all of the droid allies that do not have it. Whenever droid allies gain spare parts, all droid allies gain offense for the rest of the encounter. Okay, so this 9, I think, existed before. Whenever a droid ally is defeated, dispel all debuffs and Sortie. Not the craziest, but there is some possible sauce in this. The only problem is, like, the level 3 is basically a Sortie 9, as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's not like... There are plenty... Like, R2 is the easiest example, right? There are ways to make droids gain stealth. But the goofy part is, it specifically has to be a non-stealth droid to get the benefit. So it's not like you can run, like, a droid hybrid squad that funnels that defense and protection to a non-droid squad member. That adds some complications. Yeah, 75% CA, 125% defense is not a bad stat package, but it's a bit narrow. Alright, Darth Vader focused Datacron, but it's looking like an Imp Trooper focused Datacron. 150% defense, 140% crit damage. I think it is roughly like Dark Raycron. Well, there's Snow Trooper. Whenever an ally takes a bonus turn, all allies regen and Snow gains 20% stacking offense till the end of battle. I mean, if you're doing a TM train, that's solid ramp for Snow, right? Oh wait, it's whenever an ally takes a bonus turn, not whenever they take a turn. Stark at the start of battle, if Darth Vader's in the lead slot, he gains the Imp Trooper tag for the rest of battle, and Stark gains double bulk and defense until the end of battle. Veers, whenever an enemy is inflicted with damage over time stack, Ruthless Assault gains 2% bonus damage stacking until the end of battle, and all allies recover 5% TM. Recover 5% TM. So Vader AoE could just be like a TM starter potentially. They changed Quiggle to light side. I'm gonna be honest, Quiggle was not anything to offer anyway. Piet, whatever Admiral Piet deals damage to an enemy, removes 25% TM from that enemy. So that would work on counterattack, which you have 60% of a chance for. And he does get reactive TM a decent amount to, like, take turns a decent amount. I mean, not awful. If you're trying to TM train, that could be a pretty welcome control tool. Level 15 Darth Vader, the starter battle of the only active allies that Darth Vader has consists of any number of the following allies. Your troopers gain the following effects. Or basically, if your party consists of the 4 people on those Datacrons so far. Darth Vader can't be defeated. Whenever an ally is defeated, Darth Vader dispels all debuffs on himself or resets all of his cooldowns and takes a bonus turn. Okay, so this just has 0 defensive application. Vader resetting his cooldowns is dog shit. Just kind of the nature of what it is. Okay, so some weird Darth Vader trooper amalgamation as like a possible thing, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. Because Darth Vader lead doesn't give speed, right? So this squad is kind of just like, I don't know. This sounds like a mid-game Datacron or something. It's not like you're getting like a mass assist that everyone, right? Like you can imagine a squad like that working with like that conquest disc booming voice. So specifically, you would probably have to be in a situation because you're not getting Sith allies, so you're probably looking for Jedi enemies or Rebel enemies to like use that choke TM starter. Weird. Interesting. "100% CA, 100% health, 100% defense, 120% armor pen." 120% armor pen is not really impactful, but the rest is... It's weird, right? We're seeing crit avoidance as kind of like... You know, compare that to like a 400% defense crown. Well, let's see what all the other effects are, but... I mean, certainly this is like 3 solid effects that have the number 100 next to, but... It really kind of depends on the crit avoidance. And like what matchup it's in. Some matchups just won't care. I mean, it could be decent for like Ahsoka, maybe. Right? If you're trying to stop Spirit, you just stop Spirit crit. Ejecto Cedo? I don't know. That might not be bad. Level 3 light side. If there is no allied GL, well, fuck. Whenever light side allies use ability, all other buffed allies, whatever. Speaking of booming voice, what the fuck? That is a hell of a level 3. We have never seen that before. If there is no ally GL, whenever light side allies use an ability, all other buffed allies assist. I mean, that has so many applications. That just has so many applications. What the fuck? Okay, this is already probably the first card to go for. Confirmed. Whenever a rebel ally attacks out of turn, they dispel all debuffs on themselves. That could backfire immensely for like... Well, but for Reva lead, doesn't it? It has to be on their turn to get Deathmark or something like that. Either way, that could just be like a Deathmark fest for Inquisitors. That's perhaps a little bit spooky, but it's only for Rebels, so kind of narrows Reva's reach. Hothorable Soldier. Soldier? Not Scout? Soldier? I don't remember what the man has. I don't think the man has anything, the last I can recall. Should I even read this? You get more bulk and you take less damage. The unit's broadly still probably not real. I can go check to confirm, but... Captain Han. Whenever an ally is defeated, Captain Han takes a bonus turn and their cooldowns are reset. Okay. So kind of a Vandor-esque, kind of a Daka-esque role. Yeah, that could hit quite a few squads, actually. That could be interesting. It basically puts Captain Han where you, at like the minimum of what you would want him to be an interesting theory crafting option. Rolo. Whenever another ally uses an ability on their turn, Rolo assists, dealing 50% more damage. I mean, that would give Leia ult charge, bare minimum. Which would conflict with the level 3, but it just adds more multi-purpose. Yeah, I mean, that level 3 alone is like a fucking insane thing. Plus that stat package to boot. It's such a shame that it's non-GL limited, though. Is he Rebel Fighter? Yes. So the assist is sauceless. Yeah, pretty much as expected. That's just like placebo. But there's so much power budget elsewhere that kind of who cares if it's filler, in my opinion. Huh. Alright, so there's like 3 different things happening on Datacron. We are talking about the assist for like everything under the sun except for GL squads. We are talking about the CHS possibly hitting squads like, I don't know, maybe Rey. Could be Ahsoka. Could be a variety of stuff. And then Rolo, usually I would associate with Leia. I don't know, like you have conversations about like Akbar leader, whatever the fuck. I don't think that's real. Yeah, definitely number 1. All right. Now for the actual. I do not have enough shard shop currency. Do I have to be in? Can I just like look at it? I think I can just look at it. They gave GM accuracy. It finally was foretold and happened. Resistance, Inquisitorius, Nightsister, Ewok. So I was right about Resistance finally coming back. How do we want to do this? Top to bottom or bottom to top? Light side bulk check. No light side bulk, but we did get the per increment shielding, so that's practically basically the same fucking thing in my eyes. Holy shit. It literally basically it's 150% health converted to protection instead of 75% of each stat. It's arguably almost better than bulk. Side return 25% dispel casino chance. It's had applications before. 25% preload is also very potent. 25% amp bag, also pretty potent for squads like Leia, and also particularly Bad Batch. We gotta have that Bad Batch conversation again at some point because a lot of people still don't know it, I don't think. Where do you see amp bag? At least partially think Bad Batch, although the rule set does change for the squad a little bit. Recover 2% health whenever they critically hit an enemy. Just a small amount of regen. Most squads won't care about it. For each mini with fewer than 4 debuffs, game potency definitely has meta applications. Niche but relevant. Whenever dark side allies inflict at least 4 debuffs in a turn, they have a 10% chance stacking to reduce their colones by 1 for each debuff inflicted that turn. It's like an inverse of that cooldown reduction effects. I mean, yeah, that could hit. Obviously not necessary for every character or even necessarily every squad, but definitely high potential. Whenever dark side allies are dispelled, they gain potency up and tenacity up. I'm still kind of lukewarm on this effect. It's not terrible, but it's so conditional that it's not quite. It's just too contextual in my eyes, is basically the best way I could put it. It's not like when you're debuffed, you gain tenacity up. But granted, it's doing slightly different things. Like, if you know your squad has a Once it puts the shield up after you know you don't have buff immunity or shock. Whenever dark side allies are evaded by an enemy, that ally gains accuracy for 2 turns, and they inflict evasion down for 2 turns on that enemy. There's no dodge on this set, is there? No, not really. I mean, you care about it sometimes, like evasion mastery stacking or whatever. It's not a useless effect, but we probably just associate it with the dodge meta. Typically, you would rather have accuracy before you get dodge rather than after. Whenever dark side allies grant a buff to another ally, that other ally recovers 3% health protection. It's small increments, but it can help sometimes, especially because dark side tends to be a faction that can suffer for regen options. Not universally, but thematically in some cases. Resistance. Whenever debuff on an enemy expires, resistance allies gain 2% turn meter, doubled if that debuff was dispelled by an enemy. Okay, so this... Immediately you think of, like, Zori. Or you hit an expose, that debuff technically expires, you just get slightly more turn meter. To be honest, Zori is not really lacking for turn meter, so... I tend to just say more, like, kinda who cares, but this could... There are some higher reach Zori matchups that might actually get a little bit of benefit from this. It's certainly nice to have, but I don't think it's something that Zori necessarily needed to pick up. We'll see what the other options are. First time each resistance ally falls below 50% health, all allies reduce their colons by 1 and gain plus 10% TM. Usually a pretty low impact effect. Whenever a debuff on an enemy expires, resistance allies gain 2% offense. That is possibly more intriguing. I would typically tell you that Zori is a squad that doesn't really struggle to deal damage either. But there are some cases where Exposed doesn't necessarily do what you need it to. This could also potentially increase your reach. So it's definitely an intriguing option in the tool belt. I'm not saying it's nuts. Whenever versus ally is graded buff to another ally, that ally gains 10% turn meter. I mean... Okay, so what I'll just say for these two effects is it's basically... Right, like you associate Rose basic would give everyone buffs, so basically every mass assist, you're guaranteed 10% more turn meter. I guess really what we're seeing here is we're trying to flatten the RNG on, like... You know, even like, was it 1 week ago or 3 weeks ago, I had a battle where I did Zori Mass Assist and we got literally 0 exposes. You know. Generally speaking, the squad tries to apply expose so many times that you're not necessarily at risk of getting rolled by RNG, but what these effects are offering you is more consistency, which is not necessarily a bad thing to have, but it isn't necessarily extending our reach yet. Whenever his allies use a special ability during their turn, they stun target enemy for 1 turn. Fuck. Can't be evaded or resisted. Alright, that's probably just gonna be the go-to. With the caveat that the TM and offense could be toolkit options. But, yeah, no, I mean... It's... The one thing I would say... Kind of like with the others, right? Zori does often have pretty good control. I feel like a broken record, but like, this means you don't have to worry about whether Poe lands his stun or not, type shit, right? You're just guaranteed to hit that. In fact, you can get it out sooner. I mean, my knee-jerk is that the stun is easily the strongest, but I feel like that's just going to be more of a question of trying to get Zori to beat other squads that Zori wouldn't normally beat. If you're trying to beat the stuff that Zori already does beat, then you might just be happier grabbing TM stack, offense stack, or this. The reason why I say that is because, like, okay, let's imagine a scenario where you get low rolled and you're looking to, like, flatten the TM train, or, like, flatten the RNG on your TM train. If you get low rolls, you're not making that many debuffs to expire, right? So that's kind of the weird catch-22 is this is almost kind of like a win more clause in that scenario where like, okay, well, if you get 5 exposes on a mass assist, that gives you 10% turn meter. But if you get 5 exposes on a mass assist, you're probably already chaining your combo anyway. So the reason why I look more at this TM effect is because this is the equivalent to this getting 5 exposes, but you will get this value even if you hit no exposes. Which, like, if you hit no exposes, you're probably not bridging anyway, but at least you cashed in the 10% TM value. Although, what I always get this screwed up. Is this the type of effect where everyone that gets the buff gains 10% TM, or is this the type of effect where the person giving out the buffs gets 10% TM? Because this reads like it's only the person. But anytime I've made assumptions like that, I always end up assuming wrong. If it's AoE TM, it's a bigger deal. If it's like 10 to 50% TM to one person, I feel less strongly. But yeah. Also, for what it's worth, this stacking offense could actually be a double-edged sword sometimes. Yeah, it sounds like 10% TM to everybody, but that ally could be pointing to another ally, or that ally could be pointing to whatever resistance allies grant that ally who granted gets it. I feel like we've seen 2 iterations, and they do, like, opposite effects. Maybe I'm overthinking, I don't know. Nightsister. Whenever NS are revived, they gain protection over time and 25% TM and reduce their cooldowns by 1. Not that high impact, to be honest. Like, it doesn't sound bad until you think about how Nightsisters actually tend to play. The people who, like, very rarely do Nightsisters actually want to revive people. Unless we're talking about in the context of, like, a 1000 lead basic. But if it's 1000 lead basic, protection up doesn't matter. 25% TM and cooldown reduction don't really matter. The only way it discernibly could matter is if it's, like, Dead Nightsisters gain turn meter. So, like, if we're in some mythical scenario where, like, oh no, I lost my Daka basic up a couple of times and then revive Daka and she comes back with, like, 100% TM and all of her cooldowns or whatever, it's just so narrow. Like, it's not a bad effect, but it just doesn't really fit their play pattern. Zombie under GM. I mean, it's a 25% TM boost for them, like, trying to retaunt, but I don't know, I've never really been a zombie GM believer that much. The start of each Nightsister ally's turn, if they have not taken damage since their last turn, they gain offensive and crit chance up for 1 turn. I mean, maybe GM's happy to pick that up. So the first turn, Nightsister allies gain D to O. I don't know, man. D to O, I know, is, like, pretty universally liked. I am still a little bit hesitant about the double-edged sword nature of it, where I have seen some squads, both on offense and on defense, kind of self-immolate for just shredding their defense immediately. This is the exact same thing that happened to DR lead, right? With all the ferocity, and then squads would exploit it. But yeah, I'm sure you give your spirit D to O. I'm sure that will feel nice. Whatever NS allies stun me, they gain speed up and opposite for 2 turns and inflict expose, which can't be evaded. Doesn't sound insane. Whenever Nightsister allies attack out of turn, they have a 25% chance to remove 10% TM from the target. Low RNG chance, small payoff. There's a meta where I could actually advocate for this, but also doesn't, like, Malleus squad block their TM from being removed, even? Did CG not like the possible Afra tank option? If CG changed it because of that, it was overhyped. Quigold's, like, literally the only thing that Quigold offers is the ability to make the summon, but that's not changing matchups. L337 is a better tank for Afra than Quigold is. And it's, like, not even close. If Quigold could have his permalock taunt under Afra, we're having a very different conversation at that point. That I would actually advocate for. But he doesn't, so who gives a shit? Nothing too crazy here, honestly. Just some potential damage pickups for Great mothers mostly. Maybe you're happy to get like yeah, like maybe Taliesin Lead Marin, you're happy to just like but wait, but if you remove TM on Jabba, you just give him shielding, right? So doesn't that backfire anyway? Like who gives a shit? I wouldn't want to take that. I don't know, man. Enos versus Jabba is if it ain't broke, don't break it. And right now it is not breaking, so I'm not inclined to really take it for that. Inquisitorius. Whenever Inquisitorius ally inflicts a stack of prayers, they gain 5% defense, offensive tenacity, stacking for 1 turn. So who gets credit for Reva Lead? Does anyone get credit, or is it just like enemies are self-inflicting it? It might make the first Reva AoE do damage. Whatever a stack of purges consumed or dispelled on an enemy, expose them for 1 turn. That's kind of spicy. Whatever Inquisitorius ally uses a basic ability against an enemy inflicted with a stack of purge, another random Inquisitorius ally assists, dealing 5% bonus damage per stack of purge, and then they inflict a stack of purge. Can't be evaded, can be resisted. The expose, I don't know if it's gonna, like on the blade hilt grind, I don't know if each blade hilt's grind tick would proc the previous expose, or if you would just do it and then you get like 5 or 6 exposes after. I mean, that's obviously a pretty potent level 6. Inquisitorius ally deals damage to an enemy, no other enemy is marked, inflict mark for 1 target enemy. I mean, that might help defense AI, but the squad has way bigger problems on defense that I don't think this would repair that. If anything, it kind of backfire. I don't know. That could definitely have an impact on offense as well. Long attack's preferable, but mark could matter. Whenever an enemy is defeated by an Inquisitorius ally, that enemy can't be revived. Sure. Okay. I mean, these tend to be pretty self-explanatory these days. It's more just about... I mean, that would at least put maybe some pressure on Radis on defense, but Reva has so many counters on defense, it's not just Radis at this point. Whenever a Inquisitorius ally deals damage to an enemy and no other enemy is blinded, inflict blind. Always a respectable effect. Whenever Inquisitorius allies start their turn with fewer than 2 buffs, all of their allies gain 50% TM. This is basically just 50% starting TM for the GI bonus turn. Which, I mean, that's a solid effect, right? It's basically Dark Side Preludes solely for Inquisitorius. And, like, maybe you pick up some value in the mid game, but throughout the rest of your opening combo, you're not really going to have fewer than 2 buffs. But yeah, this could absolutely hit. So probably you pick up long text plus TM start and have them toolkit. Maybe you pick up mark or revive block for niche cases, but... Whatever Ewok ally attacks at a turn, each Ewok ally gains 2% offense stacking. Start a battle, gain retribution for 3 turns. Start a battle, recover 50% protection. Is there anything here that will make Ewoks playable? Ewok, 75% DR. Ewok, bonus turn on kill. I don't think the answer here is yes. This is like a mid-game Datacron, more or less. I don't know, man. I tuned the fuck out on Ewoks a while ago. That like, probably know maybe there's an Ewok specialist still who would like have thoughts on this, but I mean, even when Sherpa got his Omicron and Misa came out, they weren't doing anything, and we've progressed in power past that point. That these effects are just so basic, unless there's something in the 9 to like make this package look more appealing. This doesn't sound real. They could have just skipped this. Talia, first time she falls below 30% health, recover 40% health and get a bonus turn. Typically, if I'm running Talia, I'm waiting for her to die, so the health is a little bit unpleasant. The only thing I can think here is maybe the bonus turn would, like, maybe you want her to just, like, try to pop her cleanse before she dies, but probably, I would say I don't really care. That's using ability, they deal more damage equal to half their potency. I mean, this might play off of Reva possibly having a bunch of extra offense on the first turn to just, like, make a nuke. We'll see if there's better. It's okay. You're not exactly setting out to want to build Reva for potency. Romeric deals damage to an enemy, remove 25% TM from that enemy. All effects. Balin, I would imagine, will be pretty decently happy. Does 5% damage per relic amp on all allies present at the start of battle. Unless it's just like ramping to just insane damage levels, I still tend to say not enough. Gain TM when other allies use a special on their turn. Not enough. The Zori squad is just so tightly knit. Okay. Ignoring Zori, though, this is universal text, so maybe... but, like... Universal effects means that there's room to try to abuse it, but, like, I don't even know what we're talking about at that point. Like, we're in the realm of, like, this could be a pseudo-Canderous for Maul Watt, but, like, kinda, who cares? Whereas this pilot is just such a low-impact character that it's not, like, inspiring great things in my mind. Is it the special just, like, make and expose? Yeah. Yeah, so unless the simple act of just having somebody go first is enough to, like, trigger a frenzy or set the squad off, this is very much just, like, kind of who cares territory. Trippa, first time Trippa is defeated, revive all other defeated allies, and other allies recover 100% health protection, gain 100% army and 100% offense. So you just kill Trippa last, and this doesn't do anything. I mean, maybe if you try to use it on offense, and you're in, like, in a matchup where, you know, they tend to focus the lead like Rey, maybe you could just try to reverse sweep Rey with that shit. Starting the encounter, all Inquisitorius allies have 200% health and are immune to ability block. Isn't this the... But this came with Tank 6, didn't it? Nightsister deals 20% bonus true damage based on our max health with our basic if the target means a molecular purge. If an enemy has 6 stacks of purge when Nightsister is defeated for the first time, she consumes all stacks of the purge from a random enemy with 6 stacks of purge, fully heals, and removes 50% TM from all enemies. I don't remember. Wasn't this bugged to just, like, cause a bunch of assists that was partially, like, propping up Nightsister 9? I mean, I remember Nightsister being meta, but I don't remember ifs or reasons that still exist in this set. Whenever JTR gains Foresight, they also gain 20% TM and Protection up, stacking for 2 turns. Could maybe be annoying for Starkiller or Rey. I don't know. It's kind of a safe, just, like, small incremental value Datacron, but if JTR's whole shtick is just being an annoying pain in the ass, this could help, like, just make her more proactive in being a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna shit talk it. Like, it's better than nothing. I mean, and if we're talking low sauce Rey comps, I tend to think that, like, Ben Solo's TMR and her mind tricks both kind of serve to just constantly try to disrupt your opponent, that this just kind of leads into that a little bit more. You could do worse. Second sister, whenever enemies afflicted with the debuff, she gains 5% offense until they are defeated. I mean, it's a lot of offense stack. Her damage is normally not that exceptional that like it might take a fair amount of ramp to actually make her worth a shit. I don't know, maybe this opens up certain GL counters where you just try to like bop Leia really hard immediately with a big stack second sister or something. Otherwise, I tend to feel like the synergy between the usual 5 is tight enough that I'm not really in the market for this. It's just a question of scaling. If she is able to go over the top, then yeah, she's in. But it's just hard to say on a character who struggles to deal damage so much to begin with. Like, she's not quite Barris level, but it's not terribly far off from that either. First time Papalu was defeated, they were revived. I don't think like, worst case scenario was if you happen to kill Papalu first, it tries to set their train off, but it's the same thing with Sherpa. You just have total counterplay around it. Vet Smuggler Chewie. Whenever another ally uses an ability on their turn, Vet Chewie assists, dealing 50% more damage. That might be decent. Yeah, a guaranteed assist days. I tend to remember him having pretty decent stuff here. When Vet Han or a resistance ally in the lead slot takes damage, gain stacking crit damage until he scores a crit. That's kind of an unfortunate clause, but this is the thing I vaguely remember. I don't know. That might not be terrible. Teriyaki. Thank you for the raid, man. How was your stream, if you're here? Assuming you didn't just raid bees like I usually do. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be absolutely insane, but again, anytime any ability you just get a chance to daze, you get an okay ramping damage dealer, you could do a lot worse than this. Yeah, this is just filler. Scavenger Rey deals 25% more damage per relic amplifier level on all allies. I was just playing with Scavenger Rey like a few days ago. I think it was in Conquest or the Lusufu feat. I don't know, man. The one thing I'll tell you from when I played that is she is old enough that she is in that category of characters who's like 55% chance to deal damage a third time, and then 65% chance to deal damage a fourth time. I'm missing the important bits. I mean, it's per relic on all allies, so I understand that it's going to be a fat chunk of damage. A 12 times damage multiplier isn't enough. I don't know. It's really just a question of where she's gonna go, because she has to successfully take turns in order to deal damage. I mean, let's see. I don't know, maybe you just like try to run resistance TM or something to try to get her there. 12 times garbage damage is like less garbage damage. Her damage, I will say, I don't think is necessarily garbage. That, like, I made that critique earlier for someone else, but it's enough damage that if you can get her to turn, she will probably hurt pretty successfully. It's just a question of where, and a question of actually supporting her to get to that point. First time Daka goes below 100% health, recover 100% health and protection, and gain 100% turn meter. This would have been very potent back in like NS versus GG meta. %40 ratio, so 4,800% ratio at our full 9 team. I would honestly probably just like rep her with Seer Malicos over like Rey. Also, I want to say that she uses her first special first, the one that makes self foresight, over the triple hit, quad hit. But it's been literal years, so don't quote me. Yeah, I don't know. There was a time where this would have impressed me, but I only really use NS to do Jabba, and I would not want this effect for NS versus Jabba. So, meh. Acolyte, whenever Acolyte damages the ability with a special and the enemy doesn't have Shred, inflict Shred. Whenever Acolyte uses the basic ability and damage the enemy with Shred, inflict Expose. I mean, Acolyte assists a decent amount, right? I don't know if this will be a boost for GM. I still kind of tend to just think that GM is the NS spirit show, and kind of who cares about this. Like, where is there a scenario? Right, let me put it this way. Great Mothers. Well, okay. Maybe the argument is for, like, Talzinlee, and maybe it's kind of cute to, like, if Acolyte's dead, and then you Talzinlee assists, you expose, that's, like, kind of not nothing. Like, if we're talking for Great Mothers, right? Okay, when you inflict a special, you get Armor Shred. We're ignoring armor a pretty good amount of the time already, so kind of who cares? Or do we use basic and assists? You don't inflict expose. We're already kind of doing pretty okay on, like, we negate their protection, we ignore their defense, and we shrink their health. That I don't really feel like the expose is too necessary. I don't know, it sounds vaguely fun, but I don't think this pushes the needle. Maybe it's interesting for Talzinlee more than anything. Whenever the Talzinlee uses the basic ability on her turn, all other allies gain 25% TM. That's a little bit spicy. Mother Talzin is usually #1 on the list of people I want to die first. And it has to be on her turn. I don't know, when I think Nightsisters, I think Marin, Daka, Asajj taking a bunch of turns while Talzin, and preferably, you know, if we're talking a 5-man NS squad, someone else is dead. This isn't a bad effect. It just again, it's like the Datacron. This speaks to an older era of Nightsisters that's just not really how I like to play them. There is a time where this would have been really solid for bridging the TM gap sometimes. Grand Inquis, whenever Grand Inquis inflicts a debuff, they recover health and protection. Only once per turn, unfortunately. I don't know. I'll be honest, the AI tends to bully GI. That a little bit of sustain on him might actually be nice in some spots, but I assume probably effects like Nightsister will overpower or something that it is returning at its old power level. Alright, a lot of text. At the start of battle, Night Trooper allies gain 75... Wait. The start of battle, Night Trooper gains 75% potency and 25 speed until the end of the encounter. When enemies inflicted with Blight, they inflict themselves with another stack, which can't be copied or evaded until the end of the encounter until they fully recover their health. Or enemy that already had Blaze inflicted with another stack of Blight, inflict Blight on another random enemy. Is this the Night Trooper FTC? I don't remember. Inflict Blight on another random enemy that doesn't have it, which can't be copied, evaded, or resisted until the encounter or until they heal to full. Whatever Night Trooper uses Shambling Shot, they gain additional 3 stacks of Blight. Whatever ally or enemy gains or is inflicted with Blight, Night Trooper gains 20% health and gains 25% offense per stack for 2 turns. I want to say this was Night Trooper FTC, was it not? Or maybe it wasn't FTC, it was just the Kron that came with him. I don't know, certainly a potent effects. Rose 9. Whenever Rose uses Dauntless Bravery, inflict expose on the target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever Rose uses Shock Prod, when the sun is dispelled, inflict Deathmark for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever Rose uses a basic ability on an enemy with expose, dispel all buffs on the enemy and debuffs on herself. Recover 100% protection and gain 5% crit damage, max 200%. Dauntless Bravery. Total placebo, never used that ability. Okay, well, there's a small niche scenario where Dauntless Bravery makes sense. Which is, you want to juggle a character like Rey's TM. You can't deal more damage to them, so you just need to fish for the non-damaging TM removal. But then you don't care about the expose. Shock Prod Deathmark is cute, but Deathmark is just... A delayed Deathmark is just the exposes that you were about to cash in anyway happening, that I would still probably default to basic in a lot of cases, just to, like, kill them now. Unless you specifically knew that you would apply the stun, it would be reactively cleansed and immediately flip to Deathmark, and then it's cute. Right? But otherwise, yeah, I'm killing you now. Why do I care about a Deathmark later? The basic ability thing... I don't, like... The squad wouldn't mind picking up a second Dispel. Sometimes it's annoying to have to cycle back to RH Poe. Protection region is kind of whatever. The squad has good protection. The second crit damage is not bad either. I'll be honest, it's probably not going to Zori, but I would still be tempted to say that that light side mass assist would be way better for Zori than this would be. But in the interest of us only having one of those to go around, this will suffice. I like the squad with this and the squad without this is practically the same squad. In my opinion. Maybe we can find abuse cases for the Deathmark to just like cash in immediately. And maybe like you appreciate that crit damage stacking sometimes, but for most matchups that I'm playing, that crit damage would actually backfire. Like, if I'm fighting against Rey and I'm banking on Barriss and or Cal to, like, sustain me, this would backfire. Because this would possibly out-pressure their sustain, and then suddenly we're eating war ones we didn't want to sign up for. Nisa, whenever Nisa critically hits an enemy, Nisa gains 10% damage stats until the end of battle. I mean, that's, like, not bad, but I still tend to... Like, Ewok's game plan is just so vulnerable and generally not that fast that, like, they're only really just gonna assert, like, maybe a opportunistic Ewok, like, anti-Rey counter emerges or something. Squads like Rey that are typically just incredibly passive is, like, really all I could really say for him. Okay, so overall... Nightsister, probably not. Merrick, definitely good. Nightsister should be good. JTR, I'm not saying is insane, but it's probably a pickup. Vet Smuggler, stronger than JTR. I would not be shocked if it finds a home this season, but it's not like earth-shattering. More so you're just looking for places for that days to be, like, devastating. New batch nerfs? What do you mean? Hunter Basic no longer also says out of turn. So they fixed that bug, but they still... Or wait, did they fix the lock bug too? Control F stealth. CX2's taunt ignore should no longer affect lock stealth buffs. It wasn't just CX2. That might mean they fixed Bad Batch finally? Like, holy fucking shit. Stealth is literally on the back dev tracker backlog. It's in this. So unless they fixed it solely for CX2, but even if they only fix it for CX2, it actually wouldn't be that big of an issue because I could just be like, hey, could you apply it to the rest of the characters and not just CX? How do we test this? We can test it in the Mace event, but that's only CX. We would need to see someone with... Am I in range of a JMO? The taunt ignore for SLK Rey is only in GAC, I think, right? You can't dispel lock stealth. How do I test this? Come on. There's a JML number 9. There's a JML in 24. There's a JML in 31, 32. Okay. We're like one battle away. If they fixed Bad Batch stealth finally, I would be so goddamn happy. They can take the Hunter stealth. This is just auto, right? Poke into auto. For the propriety. There is no JKR. Fuck. There is a JKR. Hello. Moment of truth. Look, man, if it's fixed for CX2, we can use that. We can just say, hey, can you do the same thing that you did with CX for these other characters? We can work with it. Nope, it's still bugged. It's still bugged for them. Can I confirm it's working for CX? If it's fixed with CX, that's a start. Actually, ironically... Well, we'll see how conversations go. It technically could be linked to a thing I said in one conversation once, but it'd be very fucking funny if that's how things went. Can you hurry up and win? I'm tired of waiting. I need to see it. I'm not gonna worry about swapping over to mods for Bad Batch versus LV. We just need to confirm. Does it work? It went on record. Oh, look, man. I say this as a win. Would it have been cool to have Bad Batch be like defensively viable this patch? Sure. But I've been fighting this goddamn fight for so long that this is at least signs of life. I can now say, hey, could we get the fix that was applied to CX2 applied to like all the other units? I could work with that, right? That's a much more reasonable ask. It's a sample size of 2, but like they pretty much never did it to record before, so. Alright, we can work with that. Possible signs of progress. I'm gonna message me right now. Just issue this patch for CX2 against locked clones is the but all okay. So right now, that means that we are given a little bit of copium for the future of Bad Batch on defense. And next 5v5. What does this mean for Bad Batch against LV? It means that we no longer have to be worried about disarmed on crosshair for the Scorch type, which is huge, because like Scorch disarm on crosshair would have just like always saved Scorch, I imagine, right? So that is a boost in potential consistency. Hunter fix is about damn time, but like was not high priority compared to everything else. Interesting. I don't know, man. It gives me a bit of hope, at least. It's been how many fucking months now that Bad Batch on defense is basically like, I'm not gonna say that the people who were doing it were bug abusing. It's just the fucking rules of the game. It's just the state of the client as it existed. But it's been so goddamn frustrating to have Bad Batch go through the entire window where they actually could have been an incredibly solid defense squad and then just have it flatline because of that bug. And then have multiple attempts at reports just be like, well, I don't know, we're just backlog. And then for it to now happen, but only for CX2 is like... It feels weird that that got fixed, but the backlog happened on everything else. But again, like, at the end of the day, it still gives us a path forward, so I'm not going to complain. Maybe, honestly, my biggest theory is that people pointed it out for the unlock event. For the Mace unlock. Which is why they only specifically fix it for CX. Why does Nightfall work here now but not for us? What does that mean? Nightfall isn't working, you don't get the extra stacks. It's not working because we had the marked or the locked damage over time from Scorch. Which is experiencing roughly a similar issue. Like if I hit Cleanse now, it's at 7. When Scourge applies the lock dots at the start of battle, us cleansing stops it as counting for purposes of Apocron. That's not what you're saying. What? Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about then. Was there a new forum post about the new DCs? No, not really. At least not yet. I mean, maybe there was since then, but usually you can just see it immediately as you jump in. Alright, where was the rest of that post? Fiction issue where GM was able to get a bonus turn even though the whole squad wasn't NS. Cool that they're fixing that. There's an issue where Wampa's Omicron was getting activated outside of GSC. Fucking, huh? That I had never seen, but I guess I've never really tried, so... Maybe that explains that. GM finally gets accuracy. Should be huge for the matchup. It means that Ahsoka now needs to be focused entirely on... directly contesting. Yeah, if you weren't already thinking about ways to try to make your Ahsoka squad harder for GM, you will be now. Although, I haven't tried GM against LSTM, but supposedly LSTM blocks, and we're going straight into Set 23 having light side TM outside of Heracron and Set 21 also having it, so maybe not issues for now. There's a description issue where Balin didn't mention that whenever mercenary allies afflicted with fear, they also dispel debuffs on all mercenary allies. Yeah. One of the designers just learned that E's after D. Alright. Updated the description on Lee to be a little bit clearer on how the official Vishakisha stacks work. Did a Bane report that? Updated description, whatever Jedi Vanguard ally uses the ability on their turn while no enemy has a stack of investigation. Target ally gains a stack. Yeah, it's just clarity. Pardon our... Nest, we are updating her description on the special one to match how it actually interacts in game. Ignore armor only applies to enemies afflicted with buff community. Was that the JLo bug? Wait, so you either had to apply buff immunity elsewhere, or you have to... Because she only applies buff immunity on her first special, right? So she has to apply it once and then cycle back to it, which typically never happens for Ness play pattern because she tends to be on the slower end. It's good to at least have that clarified. There are so many fucking bugs that harken back from my Discord on this list. Holy shit. What the hell? Ah, whatever. Maybe it wasn't only on my Discord, but commonly discussed there. The interaction is working instead because Great Mother gains her bonus turn from Frenzy, triggering before she gets her bonus turn to use. Huh? Hunter basic fixed. Fixed an issue where General Syndulla's unique ability, which is granting defensive but tenacity, was getting disabled on her defeat. Yeah, that was commonly discussed too. A couple of buffs for Great Brothers, I guess. Fixed an issue that makes it so it will only be active when all the Vanguard are present. Oh, the FTC. Sana's Datacron creating an with Captain Han Solo. When he's defeated, Han Solo gets a bonus turn and refreshes the clones and abilities. Fixes it by making the bonus turn equal to. Oh, this is for the Captain Han FTC, I guess? Maybe it's talking its sound as Omicron? She has a T2 Omicron, I think, right? Yeah, that might be what it's saying. Depa revive immunity Omicron effect should now work as intended. I don't remember what that is, to be honest. Crosshair 2-2 basic ability, don't care. Quickle decided to try being light side for this update, didn't like it, will be going back to the dark side in an update next week. There y'all go. Was not an intended change, and it won't have any effect this week, really. Oppo nervous up. So what are you all talking about? Well, what I can tell you for purposes of PvP, if they run out of Nightfall stacks and then Oppo Kron gives them stacks later, the Nightfall will just come back. So in terms of Grand Arena TW, it will have some effect, like you could maybe create a window with that, but the worst thing I guess would be you're getting slightly less ramp for now. Yeah, with that Oppo Crown is worse. Fuck, man, I wish that the Bad Batch bug had been totally fixed this week. It would have been such an interesting time to post them. If we can get it fixed by next 5v5 season, though, we'll still have support Kron open, so that might actually work as well. That could be cool. Alright, what's the Ithano lead rework? My expectations aren't particularly high, to be quite honest. Ithano gives 100% offense, start a battle, 30% crit chance, 30% bulk. Offense up and tenacity up for 1 turn dispellable. I mean, tenacity up start a battle is not shabby, depending on the matchup. It can hit sometimes. So I turn if any of the power ally has more buffs than debuffs, they gain 1 stack of profit. Ithano gains 1 stack. They have more debuffs than buffs, they lose a stack of profit and dispel all debuffs on themselves. So at the start of their turn, why does it say another? Is it just saying that Ithano can't get this benefit? If they have more debuffs than buffs, they lose a stack and dispel all debuffs on themselves. So this squad is possibly interested in Tenacity Sneak. Oh, but if you have more debuffs than buffs, you auto-cleanse. That's cute. Sort of Ithano's turn, he gains 1 stack of profit and dispels all debuffs on himself. Whenever Ithano removes a stack of profit on himself, he gains 20% offense for the rest of battle. I mean, this is respectable. The new match bug is that units that ignore taunt also ignore the lock stealth. Yes. I've been reporting it for months. It got put on the backlog on the tracker. Just out of nowhere, they fixed it for CX2 today, so that hopefully gives me a springboard to be like, hey, the thing you did for CX2, you could just, if you could just do that for the rest, it no longer has to be a backlog. It could just be done. Because I do think Bad Batch actually would be pretty respectable on defense when built properly. But fuck it, the way it plays right now, everyone just goes straight for Crosshair, so it's like, but no, cool. Great. Guess I'll just fucking die. Modding part of this game is so aggravating for new players. I understand that. The thing I can say is if you can get over the hump on it, modding is probably the best part of the game. With the one caveat that mod management in this game, in terms of like having multiple loadouts, is kind of a nightmare without hot utils. It's, in my opinion, actually the biggest issue facing the game right now. But I also recognize that it's not a cheap issue to solve for CG as well. Full roster loadouts. I mean, at the very least, what I would like to see is like imagine, because I imagine that there has to be some sort of like cost saving compromise. Like, what if we just get rid of this? Get rid of these and then give every unit like a second loadout slot. And it could just be like 1 slot for GAC, 1 slot for TW. Or maybe in a perfect world, you would ask for like PvE, GAC turbo. I mean, Nightsister Kron was meta back in the day, but I don't remember. I remember there being a ton of assists, and I want to say it might be bugged. Is a mass lotus up? I mean, look, if that's possible, of course that would be preferable, but I assume that would be expensive. I'm trying to think of like a give and take solution. Interesting. So Great Mothers against Ahsoka buffed long term, but still probably blocked off for the next 5 months. Bad Batch possibly on the brink of a comeback, at least offensively. OBS disconnected for whatever reason. I don't know if the YouTube stream is just dead or how that works. Anyway. Interesting. Honestly, it still feels like the biggest thing of this patch is probably just going to be the economy change. I guess it's hitting at a weird time though, because I don't know if like pirates are gonna be the most earth-shattering thing to get early access to. I mean, maybe it'd be for anyone who's still like trying to wrap up their LV clones or whatever, that could be pretty big. Pirates will be OP. I don't know if I agree. I mean, maybe with Maz, but that's 3 months from now, so... Let me put it this way. Here's the truth about pirates. If anybody thinks Bad Batch sucks, but pirates good, that man is a liar. That man is just, like, sensationalizing to you. They are very similar. The only problem is pirates are missing the locked stealth, which will hopefully actually be locked stealth soon. Nightfall works in PvE. What does that mean? He has it here. We haven't cleansed. It does open up using Pirates, New Jedi Vanguard, and Scourge past tier 0. Yeah, it affects the raid 100%. It's just PvP-wise. Like, if we were in an era where Bad Batch were brand new, I would have said it's a huge deal. But Jedi Vanguard are the weakest squad that we've ever seen releasing Galaxy of Heroes relative to the overall power level of their time period. So early access to Jedi Vanguard is, like, cool, I guess. And then Pirates are maybe a bit of a wild card. We'll see for Pirates, but I won't have them this week to find out. But also Kicks, it doesn't exist yet. I don't know. Part of, like, Bad Batch, part of what makes them so special is 4 members being totally crit immune, 4 members ostensibly being in stealth, 4 members getting per turn health and protection regen. Like, obviously you have the stacking damage as well, and that's extremely good. You have Crosshair gaining absolutely criminal amounts of turn meter, and that's also good. But it's like... Pirates feel like they are doing less of the stuff than Bad Batch is doing, but they are in similar spaces. Right? You have stacking crit chance and crit damage, you have the pseudo-captive, pseudo-kicks unique person dies. Wrecker 2... Well, to be honest, I would say Quiggold is more akin to, like, Wrecker 1 than Wrecker 2. Wrecker 2 is easy, has less bulk stats than Wrecker 1, but he has his unique and the stacking defense that all kind of try to make him roughly equal via a different approach. But yeah, Quiggold having a locked taunt is kind of akin, right? Instead of locked stealth everywhere else, it's a locked taunt on Quiggold. But once the taunt ignore is fixed, the crucial difference would be a character like Jedi Knight Revan would have to use Mark on Wrecker, where a character like Jedi Revan could use Mark on any pirate. Is like the major difference. Once the squads actually work as intended, which has not happened yet, but we actually might be close. Maybe within a month. That'd be true if it wasn't for the fact that our side clone trooper team simply don't score relevant points even with the full teams below R9. I don't think that's true. At least I use them at R8. You can't do, like, multiple squads if that's what you're saying, but what are you talking about? They max at every tier. I haven't seen, like, R5 tier, but yeah, that doesn't sound likely to be true. That sounds like trying it with TW mods and then already giving up. So you had to be 7-star to access this, which you can get in here, or here if you're getting there early. I don't know, that should give medium guild some score boost, right? I guess the problem being though, holy fuck. If you're in a position like that, you are about to get slammed with like relic income asks. You are about to get bottlenecked. That might be, you'll have the opportunity, but you might not actually be able to cash in. We have 88888. It has to be surgical. I don't know if it's possible. God, the increment is so high, I can't actually. That's close. I don't think it's gonna get much better than that. It got updated? I saw it. It's better. I don't know if it's like impressive. Team seems just kind of just like glass cannon vulnerable right now. I don't know if I can go that small. We need to spend 112 credits. Or do we? I don't think we do. I think we're gonna move on. Fuck, man, I just want to see batch fixed. That is my secret heart's desire. Oh yeah, Honda requirements. Cakes R6, Gas R9. I mean, if you're a longtime player, Gas R9 is just a free slot. If you're a newer player, that might hurt. I mean, to be honest, Gas still does have some meta relevance, especially if you're in the mid game and looking to upset some people. Like, if you can learn to Gas versus Rey comfortably, like, that would be huge for underdogging, for example. I mean, Gas against Saw, Gas against a variety of squads. So, Gas R9 is not what it once was, but is still something that I would think you would be relatively happy to have. R8 Scav, essentially R7 for Rey requirements, so it's just one character boosts. I would have thought that Vet Smuggler was already... Oh, he is 3. So that was like a decent amount. Save Ithano Critical, not at 7-star. No, I do have them. Slow farmed. So the other economy changes may go live tomorrow with the forced update. So are they not out yet? I suppose. I didn't think to look. So what this means is you can now relic up Ugnaught while still keeping him at this tier for his gear making capabilities as a joke. Oh no, you saw it to gear him. It was just he would stay at low star, so never mind. Yeah, I don't think it's out yet. Tomorrow for sure. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not until later this year. Maybe it was just a post revealing that it's coming. I'm so fucking broke at materials, man. This is like the only okay one. This raid just like absolutely depleted everything. Which is probably the point of it. The hot new thing to be working. Well, technically, there is something else we could do. And does have a start the characters of the GL? Nope. Unless it's R5 plus. Edit button? What edit button? Nightfall only works if you have 5 Empire and LV leading? Wait, what the fuck were you... How is that different from the Nightfall event, though? LV is leading. Is it just that it's event LV, so it doesn't count as proper LV? Take out Scorch for non-whales? But it wasn't there with Scorch, so that doesn't sound correct. Right? LV is leading. We have all Empire. And it wasn't there. So the issue is that it's event LV? Which probably has like different tags. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna push the give me stuff now button. So that's why it was working in Squad Arena. Okay. Now that Bad Batch are close to their final form, at least for raid purposes, let's do some testing. Technically, I already did test this, but it's still good to just... We're here. If it will actually apply. Are you free? Why not? Something just crashed? Galaxy of Heroes just crashed. That is a first. I guess now that I think about it, FTC stopping at 9 makes them cheaper. I'm gonna play this. This has never worked with Wrecker. This is usually a Hondo joint. I don't know what build we're on exactly. We're just gonna have to play to find out. How does it break the raid team? It shouldn't, right? This breaks the 3-man raid team. Gotcha. Okay, so this is still a mega fastest. Is there ever a world where we could, like, get Hondo to go first? This is the problem with Bad Batch at the R9 tier versus lower tiers, is because the mark works, we can't just Hondo across after we do the combo. But I don't think this opener will work. I mean, we could try something like this. But not doing the mark just means that we're on a lot of pressure from the other junk. Yeah. In R9 tier, you need to use mark. Like, I know the 5-man's still gonna work, but what does that mean for undersize? I think we cleanse Hunter, reset for another mark. That is what I remember. Like, if we could tank through that, I think it's winnable. But even if we did tank through it, the stuns will be annoying. But then again, we might have only been at 5 stacks. That maybe we didn't need to do it yet. We could have done like a self reset or something. I mean, this is probably a reset and try a different strategy, but how would this game out? It's goofy. Like, we need to be working on reviving Crosshair, but I do think grabbing the kill was also good tempo. Yeah, we also needed to do Hunter Mark. It almost worked. I don't think I played that perfectly. We'll see how we do. Record popping the Slav squat. That killed? Really? That will not be good for post and rate. Yeah, without record of it being alive, that's not ideal. We could also just use Hondo for damage. Not the right button. Problem is, I think Record's on speed modes right now. Which I think we don't care about. I don't think this is the one. Omega unstealthing might have been nice. We don't want Hunter or Crosshair to get focused, so Omega unstealth is probably the play. We did get him back. We get the mark for the stall. Maybe we even reset him just to get a little bit more breathing room. Like, we're pretty okay, but we still would like to be more okay. I mean, we really don't need to mark at this point. We'll just do a bit of stacking and get our buttons up. Omega took stealth from Wrecker? How? What? How? What? I mean, from here, we should be garage home free, right? Here, check. Alright, we got it. Nah, misclick. Fuck. Should it really matter? Just annoying. Oh, right. Alright. Undersize still works. Let's try with Hondo. I don't know if we're on the best mods for this. Mega might not be tanky enough. We could try this, actually. Speaking of not tanky enough. Yeah, I doubt this is real. He's gonna have super speed. They'll be at execution just about now. The man is on speed. Might be too slow, but we'll try it. There's one thing we could maybe try. Yeah, Hondo's too slow. Or is he? Or is he just right? Only problem is this actually means that outmaneuver last, so they would go after stealth. Having the outmaneuver is actually kind of worse. We kind of prefer when Hondo tanks. It's interesting. It's actually not bad, but this is bad. If this was 2 stuns on Hondo, I would actually call this a pretty good position. Being slower means that we don't have the mark to deal with, so we could just handcuff on Oppo. Okay, what if I misplayed? His whole deep all mercenary and scoundrel allies, so he could cleanse Hunter, but not Crosshair. I mean, that's the point of playing it out from here, right? We're just double stunned, nowhere to go. I don't know if we actually want to mega fastest now. What do we want? If we do this, it'll slow down target practice generation, but it might work. Yeah, her bulk has not been maxed. Let's try something like this. Into... Run it back, maybe? Pick up the ability block. They do have Retribution, unfortunately. That will give them one stack, but it's kind of unavoidable. We're still running into the same stun moment. Okay, what if we speed Hondo back up? Because I think we were about to lose outmaneuver, and then he would have been able to tank. Not what I was looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Better. Yeah, just do that. Always. Never even in doubt. Kind of thing. I might have to make some major bulk sacrifices, I guess. We could try this. Just kidding. Would have liked this to have been potency, but it's probably still a keep. Can you blame me for trying? Is it really that bad? I know it just loaded a loadout, but come on. Alright. Probably if we speed up, it's still going to play the old way. I didn't even think about that. Maybe a minor speed gain. We could try to thread the needle. Damn, we just hit that. Did they fix the crosshair accuracy bug, maybe? Weird. Somehow we are way further from being unstealthed than before. We need to be going down, not up. This seems way more technical than the Wrecker 2 option. I don't think Hondo going before Hunter sounds possible. At the very least, we would have to seriously slow down Hunter, which sounds worse in the long run. Does it ever crosshair over Omega and then just like Omega stealth reshuffle? Hondo is still under here. He does go next. Basic would work here. We probably want the ability to block that, right? Oh, man, the recurring stuns are just such a problem for this variant. Let's put it back over. I would have to steal from Omega to do that. So Crosshair would have... What if we don't do Crosshair self-casts? Like, what if that's still bugged, but it would work otherwise if we just basic? Why did they place it differently? Huh? Basic works. We are fucking up by self-casting. We are throwing away tempo. So I think basic here would miss. I'm wrong? Okay, Hunter has a markup. This line is promising, but we don't have the build for it. I don't think. We can try going back to this, though. What did I sub out to make her slower? I think it was this one. Hondo getting instant is perhaps not ideal, but I mean, I've had winning runs play exactly like that before. I've killed my own Hondo before with runs like that. But are we fast enough? Do we need to cast the event ability? These are the questions. He did outspeed us. We need to be faster. Man, if we got if we went first there, I think we were actually maybe in a good position. Hmm. This needs to go back. He still gets washed by true damage. What about health sets? Oh, that's on Hunter. Fuck, that's a good one. I don't know if I want Hunter to be on health set. We'll see how this settles. There's a world where we would actually be better off if we had stealth on Hunter instead of Omega. As crazy as that might sound, because they can't counterattack Hunter. That stops them off from getting speed up. It would rob them of tempo. Better. We could cast the event ability, or we could just like cooldown reset on Hunter. We have a visitor. Big dog. You can hang it on my line. You can try to rob me of everything I am. Okay. So the basic choice over the cell-cast is giving us a lot more damage pressure, but it is kind of robbing us of stack removal. It's an interesting trade-off. We are in a position of relative control right now, but I don't know if we have another mark coming up, so maybe we just hit it now. We did have mark. Okay. Slightly suboptimal then. Now we're in kind of a weird scenario where we actually have to worry about stack generation more than anything, so it actually might be better to just like go in on LV. We might not actually be able to save her. I don't know if we have to. I've never actually been in a scenario where it didn't. She didn't make it. I feel like I could have played that slightly differently. Just leave the one DCT up, got on LV sooner, and we could have just blocked DCT with shock. And that would have been fun. So more than anything, I think shock will be important to help close this out. You just want to hang out and watch, huh? Here, dude. Loki. Come here. You dork. We do need to just get our cooldowns back. Loki. Come here. Not my favorite wave except, but we do have an immediate sniper, one of them at least. Alright, there should be a win. This is still very much a work in progress for Hondo. Alright. Yeah, I don't know if that's consistent. It should be reproducible, though. This raid doesn't have terribly much RNG. Alright, I do think I'm gonna call it there, though. I need to get going. We're halfway through the week. I don't know what to say about the crown set. The crown set, I mean, the LSTM will be spicy. Bad Batch would have been lovely to have seen them fully fixed, but there is hope for the future. It's really the assist FTC is going to be the big one. Don't know, like that Vader one doesn't even sound necessarily that strong. It's like hard to assess. Like, Vader gains the Imp Trooper tag, I understand. But the core essence of the Imp Trooper is Veer's lead. It's like a weird inverse where it's trying to just be like an anti-Veers, where I guess it's just banking on the 50% TM removal. But like the Piet 12 will do a better job of TM removal than Vader lead under Veer's lead. The fact that it requires Darth Vader lead makes it clunkier. I guess what they're really gunning for is that Snowtrooper level 3, that like you Vader combo and then you hope that Snowtrooper just like mows shit, but it's only really, I mean, it's what, 120 to 140% offense? I think it's 140. So Stark gets double bulk and defense, so I guess the hope would be Piet. Piet mark on Stark on the opener. And then Stark dies first, Vader resets, you do another Merciless Massacre, and then Snowtrooper has like triple damage-ish? Don't know. It's very weird. It's all a very weird thing. It might not be bad, but it's such a... And it's sure that Darth Vader lead with this would, like, ramp up over time. That, like, one enemy takes a turn with a bunch of dots. Oh, but it's only... No, I'm reading it wrong. It's one inflicted. Well, but when Darth Vader, when it cycles off and gets reapplied, that actually still might work. Right, like, you imagine Darth Vader lead, an AoE cleanse happens, and maybe you just gain a bunch of turn meter? It's so weird to analyze, but it honestly might not be bad. I don't think it's insane. Like, we don't really see anything on the level of, like, obviously not Dark Rey, but it might be fun to mess around with. It's a point of curiosity at the very least. Yeah, we'll see. Wampa, I'm like a little bit nervous about. I don't know, hopefully it doesn't push the meta even more efficiency based. Where is it? Where is it? This one. This is the big one. That might be defense theory crafting material. Good stats to boot. No GL only, though. Zori, extremely good usage. I guess that would actually be crazy for a Bad Batch, though. That might be nuts on Bad Batch. That might be kind of not okay on Bad Batch. That's... Huh. Is that just an infinite loop with Bad Batch? I mean, to be honest, it's just a good enough effect that I wouldn't be shocked if it made an infinite loop for a variety of things, but... It happens on ability, not special ability. Okay, let's game this out. Should be pretty fucking easy. Step 1. You press any number of abilities that Bad Batch 2 has to buff everyone. Hunter Mass does it, Omega Smoke does it, fucking everything does it. Step 2. You push Crosshair Basic. That gives you 3 target practice. Everybody assists you. 45% TM, 75% TM, 90% TM, 100% TM. That you're already there. We didn't even talk about the 5th. It's just an infinite loop. It's literally just Bad Batch Infinite. How do you lose? No? Alright. Interesting, interesting. A bold move. And yeah, Omega 2 will be nuts for getting that combo going immediately. I mean, we can look at other squads. I don't know if any... I mean, I'm sure... Like, it'll feel good on pretty much any squad you put it on, right? That's a difficult effect to argue with. I mean, yeah, Amidala would feel incredible. Guggins, I'm sure, wouldn't feel shabby. Zori, of course, is insane. BKM, you probably wouldn't mind to have at all. That would certainly extend your reach. Sure, make that train go infinite. Phoenix is kind of whatever. I need to like upgrade my squads at some point. Helos doesn't necessarily buff themselves too easily. That would be like a once you've established translation type beat. I mean, it would kind of start to unfurl on the opener, right? Dash, actually, that wouldn't feel shabby either. Seer stands out to me. Technically, any mixed squads could tap into this. Chewbacca being a droid also kind of hooks into the sortie stuff. Maybe this would be better. It can't work with GLs, right? Otherwise, JMO would have been pretty fun. Saw would be kind of fun. Seer, Amidala, Gungan. The light side leader, like, B team list is shorter than I would have remembered or thought. That's actually kind of crazy. I mean, JTR, you maybe start having conversation about JTR with Scav Rey 9 in the mix as well. JTR has just, like, vanished from the public conscience, but she doesn't technically deserve to be completely gone. But that, more than likely, you would still want RHF to be on Zori, so that means that you're kind of restricted on toys to play with. And yeah, Starkiller will be fun to use this, I would imagine. I think the clear winner might actually just be Bad Batch, to be honest. Dash is, like, vaguely close as well. It's a similar value. I mean, Bad Batch is on both front. You either go the Master Assist one, or you just go Ampag and give the Master Assist one to something like Dash. But Dash relies on critting for TM train, right? I don't know if that would fully loop. Yeah. Not shabby. Alright. I'm gonna call it for today. Good shit. Definitely some interesting stuff in the news at the very least. But yeah. Almost there. Keep chugging away. See you at the weekend. I guess not going to see you tomorrow. Sketchy and Starkiller SP, which one do I think you should work on first? I don't really know what's in them. To be honest. I don't know if I can see them. I mean, Starkiller is pretty damn good. It really kind of... I would ask yourself, like, what teams are you struggling with more at the moment? Neither team really has defensive viability, so it's really just a question of, like, what matchups you're looking to cover. Like, does the GI bundle come with Reva, or would you still have to work on unlocking that? If you don't have Reva, then it's Starkiller, probably no contest. But yeah, I don't think I can see it. Alright, I'm out of here. I'll enjoy the rest of the week. We'll be back tomorrow, I guess. I have hope, man. Bad Batch might be saved. I have some fucking hope.